Alright boys, so the JP live stream last night actually announced their GSSR, and some of these are actually looking pretty good. Now, I know it's really complex for players to actually buy the GSSR on the JP version of the game because Google Play has changed some things around, but you can still kind of get around that with like a VPN or by making, say, a Google Play or iTunes account that is specifically based in Japan. You can still find a way to get around that. So I still did actually want to talk about this, especially because NA players can still use this information to kind of plan out what they're going to be doing 2 years ahead, because these GSSRs are actually looking kind of nice. Like you see some of these actually have duplicates where like Melusine is on 2 of these different GSSRs. Like that I think is actually pretty interesting. But before we go ahead and start talking about this, make sure to leave a like on the video and you subscribe to the channel for daily FGO content. Also, I usually stream every weekday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but the holidays have obviously changed a bit of that around, but I'm still going to try to stream when I can. But with all that being said, let's just give like a quick breakdown of some of these different GSSRs that you have coming. So some of them appear to be like better odds than others. Like in particular, like I look at this one right here, this Gilgamesh, Istar, the Summer Jean, and Say, like this is like, if you want, say, like Summer Jean in particular, you've got a 1 in 4 chance, or if you want Super Orion, 1 in 3 chance. Like these seem really, really strong if you want somebody in particular. But then you also have some of these larger SSRs, right, where like you have, say, Koyanskaya in here, who's more in a 1 in 5 chance, but the guys in here are still pretty fine. Like if you happen to get Huyan, she's actually really good as like a quick farmer. Shu-Chen is a bit better on the JP version of the game because they gave her a battery. Semiramis is, well, still Semiramis, and Cleopatra still really strong if you can, well, get her Imperial Privilege going. But I like the idea here of making some smaller GSSRs that are more not as powerful as some of these big time ones, but you have a much better chance of getting a character you want. For instance, Reigns, 1 in 3 chance. If you're able to get Reigns, she's very, very strong in conjunction with the free waiver you're going to have on your JP account, because keep in mind, she's basically just rider waiver, right? That's basically what you're going to be using her for that 50% total battery. Over here, if you don't have Kama, and Kama being especially popular, you know, you got a 1 in 3 chance of going ahead and grabbing her, and if you don't get her, you either get a really good solo unit or just kind of another good single target quick assassin minus the battery, but they get a not single target, but a saber special damage mod. Now, I think some of the ones that people actually want to talk about are some of these more heavy-hitting ones, because I think it's going to take specific people to really go for some of these smaller ones that you see here. I think people are more going to be going for some of the high-impact ones. Like, this one I don't see being super popular, because, like, while all of the servants are generally good, it's too big, and there's nobody, like, super high value on there, right? Like, I could see someone going for the Koyanskaya one, again, for the reason that, well, if you don't get her, at least Shu-Ten's gotten a buff on JP, Huyan's pretty good, Cleo can be good, and Semiramis is okay, right? It's like, it's kind of worth going for a banner like that. Or look at this one. This one has Castoria, Scotty, and Merlin on it, right? Like, if you're going for one of these, you can at least, like, sure, there's 6 people. It's a cluttered mess. But 3 of those guys are premium support type servants. 2 of them are premium for farming. 1 of them is just really good for literally everything else. Like, Merlin's still good for challenge quests, boss fights, stalling, all of that good stuff, right? Like, you need somebody for a fight that's going to go longer than, you know, 3 turns. Merlin's one of your guys, right? Miss Crane is also insanely good if you take the time to actually learn how to use her farming. Ilya is broken over on the JP version of the game because she has a 50% battery now, and Izumo's kind of like Ilya, but what if she was quick, right? Like, that's just a Cliff Notes version of what she's like. So you like look at something like this, and you know, these stuff like these don't really compare. Like, yeah, Muramasa and Ibuki are on here. Ooh, Charlemagne, Looper person. But like, are you really going for, like, for one, you're not going to go for this one over this one because the quality of servant is just better here. But then you're not going to go for a cluttered mess like this as opposed to like something like this over here. And if you're going to go for something like this that has a bunch of like really powerful, just good OP servants, you're probably going to go for this Zerk one down here, right, where you have Morgan, you have Musashi, Ibuki, Rikyu, Arjuna Alter. The worst servant here is Raiko, and when Raiko is the worst servant on that banner, it's probably doing something right. Or you're gonna go for something a bit more OP. You're gonna go for either Yang, Big Ushi, Jalter, who has a buff on JP by the way, Super Bunyan, who's pretty good, Melt, who has gotten a buff on JP and is now stupid dummy broken, and you have Abigail, who's like, okay, like if she's the worst person on the banner, it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know about that one, it's a little iffy, but you see what I'm saying? Like, the banners you're probably going to go for when this comes to global, if you're not a JP player, is you're probably definitely going to be hitting this one up. And if like maybe you're good on like support casters, this is just like you could just get some big gungliest bungliest servant, right? You can get someone that can do the damage and or farm for you. If you need a single target, you go over here. But then you like look at all these extra ones. All of these extra ones are really strong as well. Although I would say if you're gonna go for one of these, I would lean more towards like either going for this one because it has Avalon on it if you already have someone like Castoria and you want to further bolster up your art setups, because you also have Chi Shi Huang, who could be a really good farmer for you, Himiko, who can be good in stall setups but is also just really good in crit setups. I mean, Bazette literally does everything. She's really good for boss fights, and you could farm with her unironically because she just counter damages everyone on the rotation. It's a little slower, but it's still something she can do, right? She can just counter damage everybody. And then Holmes and Goey over here are also on the banner. So it's like if you miss out on her, this is really good. Same thing for this one. If you already have like normal Scotty, or maybe you've already got Castoria, maybe you don't have Scotty, maybe you also have Merlin though, but you don't have this Scotty, you could try to go for this one because this one is better for farming. And so if you want to go for her, well, you might also snag potentially the double SSR. You get Dante's or something, but also you can get someone like her name is escaping me right now. Jacques de Molay. You can get her, who she's really good. Doma, I've recently just talked about, very good. Karen is going to be coming out, so I'll give her a more dedicated video when she comes out to Global in a couple of months. And then like Van Gogh, Voyager over here. They both start with V's, right? I got a little confused. Voyager over here, who actually has gotten his buff on JP and is actually really, really strong. So like you see that they have very, very powerful banners here. But I like that they're also split into different card types, right? Because let's say you're a specific player and you're like, man, I just need a good arts AoE guy. Like, just give me an arts AoE guy. Boom, look at this one over here. Broken. You can get Summer Kiara, Space Ishtar. Moriarty struggles a little bit with farming, but he can get it done. Summer Kama, Kiara, or Hokusai, right? Insanely good. This one is like good because it has Oberon in it, but I kind of hesitate to say this is one that you really should go for because Abigail and Okita Alter can be a little underwhelming if you use them. And this Koyenskaya isn't bad, but like she's not as broken, I think, as everybody thought she was going to be. Like, she's still really good, and she can be put in a lot of different team comps to really help out variety. Just like, depending on if like you're a status team comp, like she literally does every status everybody, for instance, right? That's just one thing she can do, right? She has a lot of like applicability, but it's like if you get her but you don't get Oberon, you'll probably be more disappointed on this banner. Like, this is one of those banners that you go on specifically probably for Oberon, and if you get her or like Summer BB, who are both like pretty good, you're just going to be a little bit disappointed, right? It's probably better going for like one of the banners where you can fully take advantage of what they're doing here, right? Like for instance here, like you have like the AoE busters, but even this one, I think this is a little too risky because you're really either going for Arcoweed or nothing, right? Because these other guys are strong, but they're not Arcoweed strong. They're not 100% battery strong, right? They're not that insane. So bottom line, this GSSR is looking really insane. I like that they've duplicated like Melusine. I just think that's really, really funny. But, well, I guess that's because they're doing single target and AoE, right? So they're able to duplicate her, right? I think it's funny. But basically, you gotta, it's like, pick something that you need for your account, right? That's kind of like the bottom line that I'm getting at here. Like, do you need a really good quick AoE? Then you just go for this one because you're going to get somebody good. If you don't get Ruler Scotty, maybe you get Voyager, who just got a buff and is really good. Maybe you get Karen. Do you need a good arts AoE? Maybe you don't get Space Ishtar, but maybe you get Summer Kama, right? Stuff like that. Like, picking something that you actually need on your account and then going for that might be really beneficial. And again, you still have like solid banners. Like if you just need a Castoria, Scotty, or Merlin, this is still a very solid banner because all of these units here are very, very strong on JP. And then if you need Koyenskaya, I mean, while this banner is not the strongest, it's still a 1 in 5 chance. You could still walk away with Huyan, who is a very recent unit and is very good. And like, again, Shuten and Cleopatra can look good in some scenarios. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. JP has gotten some really good GSSRs as of late. I recall the anniversary GSSR that we're going to be getting in a couple of months is actually really strong as well. I'm really looking forward to that one, specifically just in case I fail my Morgan summons, because there's a really good Morgan GSSR during the anniversary, so I'm really looking forward to that. But let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. If you are on the JP version of the game, let me know what you're going to pull for down in the comments. And if you are on the global version, let me know what banner you would pull on and what you're kind of looking forward to in the future. And maybe is this going to change some of the pulls that you're going to go for? Like if you see that, oh, I was really going to go for Constantine, but I see that he's in a 1 in 3 gacha, right? Like he's in a 1 in 3 GSSR. Maybe I'll take that 1 in 3 chance and try to get him, right? Like let me know if that influences any of your decisions in the comments down below. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourselves a nice Christmas, and I will catch you guys in the next video.